Hello and welcome to this day in the life video where I'm trying to show you how I navigate between having a job, studying for a master's and also having a life. So this is me arriving at work. This is the medical building that I work in where I teach the students, and here I am having some breakfast that I brought with me. This is blueberry porridge that I made the night before that I bring into work with me. Now I'm looking through the teaching that I'm giving that day. I'm reading through my notes and seem to be somewhat confused about what it is that I've written. I then seem to understand what's going on, so type away furiously at my laptop to go through a last couple of bits before teaching the students. On this morning I was teaching the students how to do a general examination, and then we had a feedback session for our PBL that we'd started the Friday before. Then I headed to the library and up in the very snazzy library lifts to the first floor. This is the view of the medical building that I was in earlier on to teach the medical students, and the random pit by the side of it. I hired out a study room for the afternoon so that I was able to work in peace in the library. First of all, I had a Zoom call, and this is to help with my appraisal. So as doctors we need to do an annual appraisal, but because I'm not working clinically at the moment it's a little bit different for me. So I joined onto this Zoom to try and give me some insight onto how I can get my appraisal and revalidation process sorted out whilst I'm not working clinically. We are lucky enough to have a Costa in our university library, so I headed back down in the lift to get myself a drink. When I got back to the study room, I then looked through different shoulder pathologies from looking back to what we'd covered in Leeds previously for the Masters. I'm using Notion and I've made a template to set out the anatomy, pathophysiology, signs and symptoms, things like that for each condition, and I'm hoping that if I make a good set of notes it will be really useful for the open book exams. I then headed back out of my study room at the end of my allotted slot time out into the rain, and as you can see I'm walking away from the medical building, definitely quite wet. Later on I went to a yoga class. My friend Jan has recently qualified as a yoga teacher, so I went for an evening of stretching. And then after that I went to see my parents and Henley, obviously. Here I'm explaining to Henley that he can't have the chocolate protein bar that I'm eating because it's not for dogs. Thank you very much for watching this short but hopefully sweet video on how I crammed lots of stuff into my Tuesday. And if you stay after the outro, there's a little bit more of Henley as well. Henley, wanna come and sit with me?